how sweet it is. Cannot find a button. To be loved by you nerds, what is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. So happy to have you guys here with us, with me tonight on this Thursday night. I actually debated whether it was Thursday or night. I wasn't quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday because you guys are here. You're here for your weekly Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. I said we sit back and relax. And hopefully by now, as we cruise into the weekend, you've poured yourself a a little bit
more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
So good. It is so good. Yeah, we have tons to talk about. Even though we had a show last week, I feel like the Comic-Con news continues. But of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. Two things in advance. If I randomly just run off screen, it's because I ate something. My body's not having it today. And two, if the camera and everything kind of just randomly falls down, it's because I was trying to adjust my table today and something in the legs of the table broke. So will the table make it through the whole stream? I don't know. We'll find out. Will the table make it through the stream? Will I make it through the stream? You're going to have to stay and kind of find out for yourself. But of course, without further ado, we'll bring in the man, the myth, the legend. It is me. It is me. Yo soy el problema. It is me. Happy to have you guys here tonight. I just realized. So one of the things you probably noticed it. I've had the American flag behind me ever since the 4th of July episode, and I was thinking about getting another flagpole because I bought this one. My chair's stuck on the carpet. It won't go. I think this is the right way. Got a United Federation of Planets flag. So I kind of, I want to hang it outside the house, but I also want to hang it in this room and get proper flag stands as well. So I was reminded by seeing the flag behind me. But yeah, happy to have you guys here tonight. We have so many things to discuss. Like I said, Comic-Con was last week, right? Why didn't we talk about Comic-Con last week? Oh, because Comic-Con last week was happening while the show was happening. So that's why we didn't talk about it. But we have that. I finally saw Superman this past weekend. I'll do a no spoiler talk to you guys about that, of course. And we'll talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. Because that's how we roll. But before we do that, with the shameless plugs out the way, and then get the show on the road. We'll do a little backwards today. If you guys want to get in contact with us in real time, much faster than snail mail, hit us up on Instagram, Nerd Affiliated. We're also on TikTok. We have the Reddit page that I don't really ever promote, and I'm not really active on it, but it's there. Sal, I think, monitors it more often. So if you want to interact with Sal, you can go over there to the Reddit page. We also have a Discord page that Sal's on. I'm terrible at that. Terrible at Discord, terrible at Reddit. But I've been really good with Instagram and Threads. Threads is the new one I've been using a bunch. So Hit us up on Threads, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Discord. But if you need links to everything, you could, of course, hit up nerdaffiliated.com, hit up the realnerdbusters.com. You'll find links to all the latest videos, links to join the Nerd Foundation, and, of course, links to pick up some sweet merch. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat. We have Creativity from the Future in the house. Good to see you. Patrick in the house. The brand is strong. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ultra Carter in the house. This is whoa. You got Legacy of the Nerd in the house. Good to see you. I got T3 in the house. Good to see you. They were 2 out of the 3 I trusted boots on the ground in SDCC. You had Legacy, T3, and Journal Kenobi's Bunker. All were out there. And he said, just as I start to toy hunt, Nerd Affiliated goes live. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Rolando in the house. Good to see you. Tony in the house. Good to see you. More beer. There you go. You got another haul from Big Bag Toy Store. There you go. I got a notification from Big Bad Toy Store that my Ken and Ryu got delayed. So they're delayed until October. They were supposed to be August, maybe. But now they're delayed till October, I think the email said. And they notified me that the charge has gone up. So previously on Big Bad Toy Store, it said, the price may be subject to tariffs. And then it turns out I got an email saying they are subject to tariffs. So my Ken and Ryu went from I think $25 to $29 each or something like that. Let me check my email, actually. I'll tell you guys right now instead of speculating. And then I have a fun announcement. They went from $26.99 to $29.99. This is what the email looks like. So, for one, you can see how I organize my emails. But yeah, you have here the, you just get notified. Price is going up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. But they do highlight, and something I was going to kind of mention with you, Ultra, is it says you'll receive an email once your order is ready to be processed for payment. If you're using the pile of loot feature, this item will be added to your pile of loot. If you are not using the pile of loot feature, please review your shipping address and payment info now to be sure they are correct. This will ensure the successful processing of your shipment. So right now I have the pile of loot going. So they'll probably be added to that, but I haven't really picked up anything else on Big Bad Toy Store, so I might just let it ride. Although I'm still thinking about that Samurai Jack. Still thinking about that. You ordered from Nerd Zoic as well. Awesome. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Comic-Con's still going. Well, the after effects, yeah. It's an unboxing kind of evening. There you go. Make sure, again, I say this all the time. I say again also all the time. It's like a filler word. I don't know why. I need to stop doing that. But you guys should be following each other. You guys should be all subscribed to each other. But Patrick over at Craft Collects just posted another haul video. So make sure you check that out as well. And he posted over at Know Your Craft. There you go. I have to say, Mattel did better with their SDCC reveals than Hasbro, as the G.I. Joe, Star Wars, and Marvel Legends were letdowns for me, whereas Mattel WWE reveals are amazing. I politely disagree. I feel like the year that Mattel had announced, even though I think the line kind of didn't do well and it's kind of DOA. The year that they did the Turtle WWE crossover, I feel like that year had better announcements. But now that I think about it, that also might have been WrestleMania, not STCC. I thought the reveals were fine. But I can't remember. I can't think of anything that really stood out. We'll go through stuff. We'll scroll, the IG and see. But Rambling Nerd in the house. Good to see you. Have you all seen Superman? Am I the crazy one for thinking it was just okay and losing my mind over it? I think you were. Outside of my comment section on Threads. Ooh, merchandise. There you go. The new TVC HasLab, LAAT HasLab is bullshit, and I'm not happy about it since they upscaled an already amazing one from 2000s and just added shit to justify the horrible price. Now that one, I disagree. That one I agree with you on. But we'll talk about that too. Oh, Rolando said Superman was just okay. There you go, Anthony. Man Collects in the house. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Everybody saying hi to each other. There you go. Cutthroat Comics in the house. Good to see you. It was ready to ship. There you go. Mark your wallet safe. There you go. Mattel's new Castle Grayskull. That F great. Yeah, I saw that, and in a way, I'm happy I'm not a He-Man collector. Outside of I think I have 2 He-Man figures. No, 3. I have the 2-pack. Oh no, I guess 4. I have the 2-pack that was He-Man and Oracle. I got that on clearance, and then I got the cartoon style He-Man and not Battle Cat, but this version of him, also on clearance. Then I picked up the amazing King Grayskull figure that came out like 3 years ago at this point, I want to say. And the amazing Skeletor figure that came out based on the Dolph Lundgren movie. I thought that figure was amazing. And the Dolph Lundgren figure was horrible. I wish that line continued, but the sales weren't great. And I mean, outside of Skeletor, because I think Skeletor, everywhere I went, he was gone. But, back then, we were all, talking a lot about, I guess this has been going on for years now. But we were all talking about the fact that if there's a line out there or a figure out there that you're like, wow, this is awesome, it's really important you pick it up at full price. Like, don't wait for clearance. Even if you're kind of like, I think I really want it, but I'll long game it. Especially in these times, if you can. I'm not telling you to break the bank on it, but if you can. Sometimes I think there's a boogie in my nose, and then I remember, oh, it's just a new gray hair I have not eliminated yet. If you can, make sure that you pick it up full price, just because it's the only way the companies are going to know that we want more of that figure. I feel bad picking up the Biker Mice from Mars figure, Throttle. I picked them up on clearance. I think a lot of people have. And I feel bad because it actually is a really good figure. I'm all for it. And I can't afford to collect that whole line. But I kind of wish that, because so much passion was put into that figure, because the guy who runs the company seems to be a really good dude, I kind of regret not paying full price for the figure. So especially if it's a smaller company, if you can, go and pay full price if you can. Geek Strong in the house, the strongest support. There you go. Are you driving to or from a movie theater? Let me know. Tools and Talent in the house. There you go. Doc in the house. Good to see you. Geek Strong said I liked Superman 7.5. Fantastic Four was great. 9.5. There you go. And for Geek Strong, keeping the theaters alive to you.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
And of course, make sure you hit up toolsandtalentprops.com. Use code HeyArcher. Save yourself 10% at checkout. Got my merch hanging out right behind me. There you go. Generation X-Wing podcast in the house. First time. Good to see Triclops and Zodiac are my fave. Generation X podcast. The guys over there are also Tools and Talent ambassadors and run a pretty fun podcast. It's funny. YouTube suggested the channel to me, I forget which video it was, but suggested. Oh, it was I think you guys had put out a weathering tutorial, like a Ghostbusters Flight Suit weathering tutorial. So that was suggested to me. So I watched it. I liked it. And then I was like, man, these guys look familiar, which is something that Doc and I have talked about, where it's like you recognize, people's suits, you recognize people's packs, etc. And it turns out that they're also ambassadors with me for Tools and Talent Props. When I saw their page, I was like, oh, that's right. Let's make sure you give them a subscribe as well. If I'm not nitpicking, I give Soups 3 out of 5. Yeah. I'll come back to Superman. From 3 movie theater, this is popcorn bucket hunting. What bucket are you trying to hunt at this point? Wasn't the Galactus the last one? I feel like Galactus and Fantastic Four was like the last big movie of the year. Like I can't think of anything else coming out that's like in our nerd space that would have a popcorn bucket to die for. Outside of a I'm actually really thinking about going to see Turtles in theater for the 35th anniversary. So like maybe they do a bucket for stuff like that. And it would be in honor of the first movie that I remember seeing in theaters, which was that. So that would be cool. When is that? '35th theaters. I can hear the song in my head. August 16th. I won't even be here. So damn. I won't be able to see it. That sucks. I wish I was doing it all week. Let's see. New York City. Yeah. I feel like it's just going to be the one day, Saturday. Damn. Guess I'll have to watch it at home. No problem. We need more better movies. Let's get back to old school screenwriting or movies. I got a lot to talk about. I have a lot to talk about. Ecto Ordnance Corps, the Death Trappers. There you go. Oh, that's right. Mortal Kombat. But you think Mortal Kombat's gonna do those numbers? You think? Do you think? Wicked Part 2? I mean, it was a popular movie. Not anything that I think we cover. I covered the numbers on it, but it's not something that like the audience of nerd affiliated watches. Demon Slayer is also coming to theaters, but not sure it's going to get merch. I imagine it'll get something. Being one of the bigger animes going to theater. Saying hi each other, 100% seeing. Yeah, I didn't know it was that same weekend. Sucks. You'll have to watch my video to find out. I'm going away that weekend, so that's why I say that. Millennium Workshop in the house. Good to see you. Actually, Rex put out an amazing. I don't think he dropped a video yet on it, but we'll pull up what you shared. Speaking of TMNT, Turtle Power. Look at that. Rex killing it as always. As always. You got sent some lists, but you got to figure, you'll check it out. Nice. So yeah, we have like I said, we have a lot to talk about. I hate rushing through saying hi to you guys. It feels like rude of me. So if I ever spend too long in the hello section of the stream, in a way I apologize, but in a way I don't, because I like saying hi to you guys. You guys are part of the show. You're part of the experience. So thank you once again. We'll head over to the IG. Maybe that will help me kind of stay in line of things to talk about. This was absolutely hilarious. So Kimberly over on Threads, aka Amy Jo Johnson, she posted this picture online of a girl she saw at San Diego Comic-Con, loved the Pink Ranger cosplay, and asked for a picture. But apparently the girl did not know who she was. No clue. Now, word on the street is that the girl has since jumped into the Amy Jo Johnson DMs, or maybe even in the post, let's see, to say, here we go. Actually, this was me. I'm losing it right now. I was so brain fogged and sun blind. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. You are so kind and sweet. That's hilarious. You know, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. You know, walking all day at a Comic-Con in itself can be exhausting. But doing it in cosplay, it takes even more out of you, especially because if you're in something popular, everybody's stopping you. They want to say hello and all that stuff. But San Diego in July must have been hot as hell. So yeah, somebody comes up to you, you're not really paying attention. Hair's in her face, you know, you may not register. At the same time, to a point we've talked about a lot on this channel, those of you who sit here and like watch a stream like this or watch a replay like this, you're in the minority of like nerds. Most people out there are not consuming content like this. Most people out there, actually Legacy will probably tell you, most people out there that will consider themselves Power Ranger fans, majority, probably only know the OG show and probably don't know what these actors look like in modern day. And it's not to take away from them being fans. They just don't consume content like that. So I find it, with all those circumstances, I find it totally believable that she could walk up to you and you'd have no clue. And think like even somebody like Austin St. John, you know, older, put on weight, comes up to you. If you haven't seen him in like the last 10 years, you'd probably have no clue. You'd have no clue. So I don't completely knock her for that. But it is quite funny. Day 5, I was absolutely done. Yeah. You know what it is? It's the part where she looks familiar, but might just be another person who asked to take a picture, and after taking hella pics throughout the day and bam, you didn't realize it's her. Yeah. Oh, you worked for her on Flashpoint. Awesome. Awesome. Heard she's nice. I think I told this story before. I'll say it again, you know, for all the new heads in the stream or listening on the replay. By the way, if you can, hit the like button if you've not done so already, and hit the bell to get notified when we do drop new videos here on the channel. I have not done a Daily Planet this week, but if I get to do one tomorrow or next week, you'll be notified when those go live with the bell. So Amy Jo Johnson is cousins with a friend of mine's karate student. So my friend teaches karate, his wife teaches karate, and their student, longtime student, is cousins with her. That's actually how I got, let me see if I can move. There's this picture here. This is actually the full movie cast, completely autographed from the first Power Ranger movie. That's how I got that. So he's cousins with her. No big deal to him. My friend comes over one day and he's like, I just came back from, I won't say where, but came back from a place. And I was like, oh, what were you doing there? And he's like, oh, I went with a bunch of students to go see the Pink Power Ranger. And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, we went down to her, I don't know if it was her house or something, but they went down and he was like, the kids got to take pictures and got to say hi. And they're like, oh, you know. And I was like, you didn't think about telling me about this? Hey, Steve, do you want to go on a drive, meet the Pink Power Ranger? We're going to hang out, have some lunch. You don't think I might be interested in that? He was like, I didn't think you'd want to go. And this was in my, this is like 3 apartments ago. when I started collecting, and I had one of those like IKEA, was it Detoff or whatever, the glass one, and it was just straight Power Ranger stuff in that whole thing. That's all I was collecting at that point. And I was like, this display case doesn't tell you that I may or may not be interested in going to meet the Pink Power Ranger. Nothing. And he was like, now that you mention it, yeah, you probably would have wanted to go to that. I was like, yeah, dude. Yeah, I would have. So didn't get a chance to meet her then. But actually, this will segue into something else. Went to Boston Comic-Con a couple years back, and she was there. And my friend Student, he DM'd me, and he was like, hey, she's going to be there. If you want, just go up to her and be like, hey, I know your cousin blank. And I was like, it just doesn't feel right. Like it was, cause like what is she supposed to do at that point? Like she's supposed to like waive the fee, I don't know. It was like a weird, I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So I skipped it and, didn't meet her then either. So at some point, but it actually takes me to, something else I want to talk about that I'm actually pretty excited for. And once again, shout out to T3, shout out to General Kenobi's Bunker, and shout out to Legacy of Nerd. I was sitting there watching, all their content over Comic-Con weekend, and I was like, I would love to do that. I would love to go to a convention, go there as press, be able to cover everything. And they've done it for a number of other shows. So it was cool because to me, it was like watching your friends go from like minor league to big league in a way. And they've been going to premieres and stuff. So they're pros already at this thing. But Comic-Con to me is like top. Like I think the only logical next step for them is like, all right, you've done San Diego Comic-Con, like the number one. The next thing is like a red carpet with like an A-lister and with an interview, something like that. I feel like the highest tier. Oh no, the highest tier would be like one-on-one sit down in the press junket. But underneath that, I think is like red carpet, microphone, Tom Cruise, go. Like I feel like that's where they are now. So I was like, I need to start getting some reps in on just bringing this channel to the realm of like, you are pressed to go to an event. You can go to a premiere. You can go to all sorts of things. And I decided to send out a couple requests to see if we can get any press passes to some events. And we got word that we are going to our first convention as press. And that convention is Boston Comic-Con, aka Fan Expo Boston. Super excited for this. Again, shout out to all of you, because if not for you guys, coming by on a regular basis, liking the content, interacting with the content, all that stuff, I wouldn't have got this, because you do need to hit, X amount of subscribers or likes because of TikTok, or followers. You needed, to hit certain things, and we hit the barrier. So we got accepted to that. Now, what's cool about this is I've not been to Boston Comic-Con since I think 2019 might have been my last one. If not even, it may have even been 2018 was my last time going to Boston Comic-Con. So it's been a hot minute. I actually remember, I remember how far I parked to ride a city bike or a blue bike, whatever. Yeah, the blue bike's what we have up here. To ride a blue bike in cosplay to go to the convention. So that convention I went to that year was the last time they did it in that building, in this big expo center they have in Boston. See if I can pull it up somewhere here. feel like it should be here somewhere. Here, I can just put up the convention center. So that was the last year they had it here. After that, they ended up going to the mall that I used to actually work for or work in. And it's a much smaller convention center. That's where Anime Boston happens. And even though, you know, I was still interested in going, I didn't go because I was like, oh, I already work in the mall. I get to see all the cosplayers when I work on a weekend day when the convention's happening. So I just never went. I just haven't went. So now to be going back, as I'm trying to find you like pictures of the building, but like there's none on here. Maybe we could just go here. Yeah. So now it's going back to where it was when I first started going, when I first moved here. And it's just cool that now I'm going back to Boston Comic Con for the first time in years, but also back to where it used to be in a more enjoyable convention center, in my opinion. And now I'm going back as press as opposed to just a normal everyday dude. So excited. Super excited. I don't know what the cosplay situation is going to be because this is next week. And I don't know how that's going to affect the documenting of Comic-Con. If that makes sense. Like, because normally over the years, it's changed, right? So when we first started going to conventions back in like, God, was that New York Comic Con like 2012 or 13 or something like that? You know, I would just make a cosplay, go there, take pictures with people that I thought were cool, take pictures of people I thought were cool in cosplay, buy merch. You fast forward, we start the channel. We're doing cosplay for these things, and it's like, all right, you're documenting with the intent of just getting pictures for social media. YouTube channel gets bigger. Now we're vlogging the convention, taking pictures, doing cosplay. But now going as a press person, technically, even though it's just for myself, should I like be talking to people? Like, should I aim to like go and meet a celebrity? Should I aim to interview people who are at the convention in cosplay? Should I aim to interview people who are vendors, you know? Or do I just kind of stick with what I've been doing, which is just kind of vlogging, walking around, pickups, booths, you know, stuff like that? I don't know. I do not know. And also I got my email today about, you know, going to pick up the tickets. And it turns out I didn't even consider this. You get free tickets for all 3 days. So I don't know. Whole new world for me. So we'll see. Apparently got to go to some section to pick up the press badge, and then they'll walk you through do's and don'ts and all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited for it. If you are going to Boston Comic Con, aka Fan Expo Boston, let me know. Maybe we'll do like a meetup or something. We'll see. Damn, I couldn't even get Fan Expo San Francisco. Tools and Talents with the high fives. Congrats. Thank you. Press Junkets is definitely the next step. Yep. There you go. I got a press invite for the Alien Earth on Tuesday. That's awesome. I love that. The Fullest of Circles. Does it pen up some opportunity to meet celebs? I don't know. I applied to a couple different conventions, and one of them said that the press badge does not kind of give you the right to go up to a celebrity and be like, hey, I'm press, can I interview you? So I don't know like what that entails outside of like, maybe they mean you can't like skip a line to be like, hey, I'm press, you know, or try to go backstage to where the celebrities are to, you know, maybe that's what it means. I don't know. So I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions. But I told I told some of you guys about it, and I think it was T3 who said, I think it was you, T3. I can't fully remember, but somebody said the good thing about it is that now that you've been approved for Fan Expo Boston, maybe that helps you get into other Fan Expos around the country because you're already like approved by them, even if it's a different organization. So we'll see. And Legacy said, check with the handler first. There you go. But I don't even know if I want to, talk to celebrities like that, Like, I feel like that's not my wheelhouse. I feel like my wheelhouse would be more of a sit down like this, in podcast form, as opposed to just talk to them like that. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. We'll see what happens when they get there. Dada Films in the house. Good to see it. So let's talk about some of the toy stuff announced over at San Diego for Comic-Con. We'll actually head over to T3's page, and there was tons of toys were announced, which it's never a bad thing. And the reason I disagreed with you earlier today, Ultra, was because the things I was most excited for were actually the Marvel Legends stuff. Maybe not so much the price, but some of the things I was excited for. This was one of them. They announced a collaboration, surprise, between Magic the Gathering and Marvel Legends. And with this, you get some sort of exclusive card, but you're also getting a new Spider-Man figure. And this is the Renew Your Vows Buck, but with some modifications to it. So like all this battle damage that you're seeing on this version is actually sculpted battle damage. But it's the same articulation, the same body as the Renew Your Vows. You also get this cool battle damage head sculpt with the hair coming through. And then once you get over to Peter Parker himself, you could see it's the same head from the Renew Your Vows, but he's also battle damage, black eye, cuts on his face, cuts on his arm. Pretty sweet. It comes with the additional shield and the web effect that I think was from the... If it's not the maximum web effect, it was... I think it was just something they were using recently. I think they put that in a couple different figures. I know the Spider-Man Gamerverse one, I think, came with that web effect. So it's, again, the price point is rough. $40 for this is rough. Especially when you paid $40 the first time for two figures, now you get just one. But, again, I feel like with Hasbro, with something like this, like, do you have to feel bad about playing the long game? I don't think so. I might play the long game on this one, but having that battle damage Spider-Man is pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. But of course, the big one for me was the X-Men 97 line. You guys know I'm an X-Men fan. We'll get to some wrestling stuff for you down there. This is the shocker. And actually, Man Collects talked about it this week on his Wednesday video. Let's see if it's still holding true. And as we scroll down, that Wolverine is still in stock. Don't know how. And Cable still in stock. Wow. I swore on all things holy that this thing would sell out in like 2 seconds. Like the way that Cold Slither sold out, which goes up tomorrow, by the way. I thought this would sell out. I thought it would sell out. But it made me think of two things. For one, maybe Hasbro actually, not that they ordered a lot. I guess you do, because the pre-order sell out. So maybe they did order a good amount of these, and they just didn't fulfill all the orders. That is completely possible. Completely possible. But also, maybe there's a chance people didn't want this figure, but I highly doubt that. Highly doubt it. So, It's great. I wish it came with another head sculpt of him like yelling or something. That would have been sweet. But even just getting this buck, knowing that they'll probably have more cables down the road with different head sculpts, swap them around, especially if there's one with him yelling. Amazing. Comes with the guns as well. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Pinless as well. Doing it. They are doing it. A couple of these other ones sold out. I was pretty surprised by. Did not expect Morph to sell out with all the hate that he got. But again, like I tell you guys, a lot of people make this content talking about, oh, nobody cares about this, nobody cares about that. Numbers prove otherwise. So there you go. We also had a reveal of a brand new pre-order, a new pre-order figure. There's got to be another way to like phrase these. Not a HasLab, but a made to order. There needs to be a cool name for it. We got the announcement of Mephisto. This one, $80. You get Mephisto on the throne, a couple different head sculpts, some soft goods, and you get this pretty sweet throne as well. I was confused because they kept putting Spider-Man in all these pictures. So I was like, is Spider-Man coming with him or something? But that was not the case. T3 corrected me on Threads. And it's pretty good. You know, I love this model of the pre-order versus a HasLab. I think the price point of this one is just high enough to keep me and maybe some other casuals away from it. But, you know, a lesson has been learned since the Sentinel. And that is, if I'm even remotely interested, just get it. And then if anything, cancel it. Cancel it later. That's where I'm at now. I feel like if this wing was like 50 bones, maybe I would have gone for it on like a casual thing. But I might be out of it at 80. I might be. Let's see what else was here. They're really leaning into the cosplay stuff. You have the Spider-Man mask they announced. There's Wolverine one they announced. They haven't released for sale yet. They had on display the Ectoglow vehicle as well. And of course you had some G.I. Joe stuff and all of that. But let's go to the big announcement. Probably not the most popular, but the bigger announcement, I think. And that was the announcement of a new HasLab from the Star Wars team on the vintage side, and it is a Republic gunship. Now, let me just check the comments real quick. I feel like I've not said hi to you guys in a little bit. I see you guys talking. Marvel Legends were better than the Star Wars reveals since the Star Wars reveals were let down. Yeah, the Star Wars reveals weren't that crazy. I did love the Luke and Vader 2-pack. I ordered that. But that was about it. MTG people are either hype or hate that the card is stacked behind a figure. True. True. Don't forget about the Magic the Gathering card. Yep. General Kenobi, good to see ya. The battle damage Spider-Man figure should have come with another battle damage head where the mask is ripped so his mouth would have been exposed. That would have been cool, actually. That would have been cool. I'm going to star this SDCC stuff for afterwards. Poor Morph, yeah. They really want to drive home brand new day. That's funny. Dwight said it's an entire new mold. Cable looks even better in person. I bet. Which one was the whole new mold? Spider-Man? Because I think Dan said it was the Renew Your Vows. With the new sculpting on the battle damage portions, which I guess would be a whole new mold. Yeah. But we got the announcement of this, the gunship. As they're going through the announcement, first of all, I'm not getting it. I don't do vintage collection. You guys also know I'm kind of out of vehicles for a hot minute. I've got nowhere to put them. But the entire time they were announcing this thing, everybody in the comments was like, what's the price? What's the price? What's the price? 450. 450 bones for this thing. Now, one of the things they made sure to drive home was the fact that it is larger than the pre-released or previously released gunships that came out. 20% bigger. As somebody said in the Star Wars Sith comment section, shout out to Tony, they were like, it's 20% more, but I guarantee you it won't be just 20% more money. And they were right. Talking about it now, this very much aligns with my argument with the Sentinel. Right now it is 2,600 backers in. The goal is 8,000, similar to the Snowcat. A Republic gunship like this, it would be sweet to army build it. To me, this is an army builder figure or an army builder ship. In the same way that the Sentinel was an army builder character. And I feel like the price points on these things are too high for you to army build. And so you may say it's not practical to army build a gunship. It's too large. Fine. But you maybe would get somebody to at least buy two if the price was decent enough. And then maybe you get a Ghostbuster scenario where it's like it comes with pieces to make it look like two different versions. So then somebody's more inclined to buy two. But at 450 bones, man, you're already niching it down to the vintage collection. You're niching it even further down to Attack of the Clones, and even niching it down further to clone fans, to clone trooper fans. So I think this one, if it doesn't back, I wouldn't be surprised. Considering we have the G.I. Joe one going, the Mephisto pre-order opened up, you got all the pre-orders from the actual convention. Maybe there's overlap between whoever ordered this and whoever backed or ordered the Ghostbuster Proton Pack. We don't know the end date for that still. So there's a lot of things up in the air right now as far as pre-orders go. People may not be as inclined to take a chance. May not be inclined. I also think there's a strong possibility that there are people out there who normally buy more than one to resell, which, as I mentioned before, you need them with this. You need resellers to buy these things in order to hit the numbers. And a lot of them might be sitting on other HasLabs and they're just like, you know what? I'm not going to take a gamble on another one that I can't sell. People still don't have the Cantina. People are now only just getting the Rattler. And then we have the Ghostbusters. We have two Ghostbuster ones floating out there right now. So it's a tough sell. It is a tough sell. We'll see. As far as the offerings go, I thought the offerings were not good at all. 3 Jedi that they could be standard release, to be honest. But maybe that's why they also made them these figures. They were like, hey, we think we're going to barely make it. Make the figures, ones that if people didn't get them, they wouldn't lose sleep. But going into that mindset, that's probably not an accurate thought. I don't know. I just felt like those offerings were not very good. But it looks cool. These swappable plates here. I thought a tier that would have been sweet was to lean into the Ghostbuster thing where, you can make some real heavy modifications to it. And it looks like one of the gunships from the 2003 cartoon, the Tarkovsky cartoon. That would have been pretty sweet. But the way that it stands now, if you got all of this and you told, 450 bones, that's rough. That is a rough sell for me. Well, not for me, but I feel like in general, it's a rough one. The tier should be like speeder or more clones. Swappable plates don't justify both the LAAT being a HasLab and the price. Yeah, I want the Tiger Shark. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Those Jedi figures should have been released normal retail. Yep. Stretch goals are horrible. Yeah. And then you guys are talking about the Marvel Legends. Steve in the house. Good to see you. You said, I really like the cable split between the Marvel Legends and the Amazing Yamaguchi, and they'll probably drop around the same time. And T3 said yes to that. Yeah, you know, let's check in on the G.I. Joe one real quick. Oh, for a second there, I thought it backed for a second. I was like, oh, shit. Last week it had just passed 7,000. Right now it's at 7,509. So it's crawling its way there. You know, it is so close that it will back, but it's not. I don't know if it's gonna get all three. You know, I said the same thing about the Ghost, and look what we got. So there's that. Let's go back to T3's page because I did want to talk about these. I'm gonna go in the same order as a man collects here. This 2-pack was announced. I'm down for it. I'm going to order this one when it does open up, because you know, we've had now 2 different versions of Cyclops, you know, with the hoodie on, but this one being the version of Scott and Jean from the end of '97 in their throwback costumes. Love it. I actually don't have a Jean Grey figure. I've got 2 Cyclops figures. But especially with the blast effect that Cyclops comes with, this 2-pack I'm down for. 1,000%. That's going to be a pickup. Wolverine and Storm. I need a Storm. I don't have a Storm figure. I am not a brown suit Wolverine fan. People have the audacity to say that the brown suit's the best suit. I think that usually just shows you their age. Team yellow suit, let me know in the comments. Are you team yellow suit, team brown suit? But I don't need this Wolverine, so it's not enough for me to get the 2-pack and get Storm. I can hold off unless this one goes on sale. But this one killed me. This one broke my heart. Take a drink to this one. I was so freaking hyped for this 2-pack. When they announced it, I was like, oh my God. Yes. I was so excited. Especially for the Gambit. I also don't have a Gambit. I've not seen a single Gambit figure that I'm like, oh, that's my Gambit figure. You know, I might get the 97 one just to have it, but I haven't been like wowed by a Gambit figure yet. And this one, I was like, this might be it. But they did that stupid pose, man. They displayed him in that stupid pose, and it revealed the ab crunch. And I don't know. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. It turns out this is actually just a starting lineup buck that they repainted. You know, I can't hate them for that. But, man, the bend here, it just looks terrible. And then the diaper was even showed it off as more crappy with the bend, and I was like, I don't think I can do it. So I really wanted this thing. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I still can't figure out how that ball works. Is there a peg on the ball? Because like this picture has it on the hand. And then, but here you can disconnect it. So there might be a peg on there. This like has moves. It does. With the Dikembe Mutombo, RIP. Not in my house. Not in this lane. Oh, I wanted that so bad. Then they posed it. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. But this picture, man, regrets, absolute regrets. Just realized I got the the sackcloth on Rogue. Yeah, Mega Dan in the house. Good to see you. It's been a minute. You were thanking him. The comic Spider-Man 1/6 scale by McFarlane goes on sale tomorrow. Which one's that? I don't remember that. Was that announced at Comic-Con as well? Let's see. Oh, I am excited for T3 showed off. There's a Teen Titans variant of this that I want to get. Is it this one you're talking about? Oh, that's 1/10 scale. 1/6 scale. This is it? August 1st. You know, I can't get behind this line. It's just not for me. It's cool though. Not for me. The Punisher that Man Collects unboxed. Pretty sweet. I just like to pose my figures. I like to change them up. Especially if I'm going to do photos with them. So cool, but not for me. I'm going to skip it. Do an unboxing, send it to me so I can see it. Oh, I didn't know they released him. That's cool. Because I think Lockup was a Build-A-Figure previously. They announced that Peacemaker, which is just like a repaint, essentially. I think it is a new head sculpt, but not good enough. I didn't talk about this, actually. And Man Collects reminded me that it exists. There is actually another crowdfund out there. There's the McFarlane BVS crowdfund. Again, I don't need it. Cool. Glad it exists, especially if you're collecting all the Batmobiles. But I'm gonna pass. Gonna pass on it. Snowcat was bigger than you thought. You need that damn Wolverine. You need that Wolverine, damn it. The brown suit? Or is it a McFarlane statue? The UFC figures look terrible. My God. Yeah. This was pretty sweet though. The Mondo Superman coming out. I mean, Mondo, visually Mondo kills it every time. Price point holds me back. But the Superman looks pretty sweet. The Thundercat line looks pretty good too. Don't need them, but the Superman one especially looks pretty good. And it comes with a Lois, like different head sculpts, different accessories, but he comes with a Lois that he can carry on display. I assume there's going to be a deluxe version. So that was pretty sweet. And then the other thing from Mondo where they might have me, I don't know if T3 took a picture of it. I don't see it here. Let me switch off. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Here you go. The Mondo Janine from their Real Ghostbuster line. This one might have me. This might have me. Depends on how they price point it. I loved the accessories, the Slimer. I think she'll go great on the display shelf. I don't think she's going to convince me to pick up the Busters, but This one, I think I might actually go for it. I think it might happen. They might have me. There's a strong chance. There is a strong chance. Now, just because we're running low on time, let's do some box office, and then I'll go back to the Comic-Con discussion. I saved a couple comments from, I believe, T3. Where are we at? All right. Now, Steve said he finally saw Sinners, so I was happy to hear that. But that brings us here to our 2025 movies so far that we've seen. And yeah, easy. Absolutely easy for Superman to be number 2. Not my movie of the year yet. I don't think anything's going to beat Sinners. But Superman, easily number 2. Now, that brings us to this list. Now, last week, or week before, whenever Anthony was on last, we started putting this list together. We just did a rough pass on it. Nothing crazy. You could do some fine tuning. But I want to talk through Superman first and then explain the list. First of all, what makes no sense to me whatsoever. One of the posts I made on Threads was how James Gunn just doesn't miss. You know, his DC run right now to me is, was it 4 for 4, 5 for 5? Peacemaker, Creature Commandos, Superman, The Suicide Squad. 4 for 4. And people are like, what are you talking about? And they seem to lean on the Suicide Squad. And they seem to rope in Blue Beetle. I don't think anybody roped in the Flash. What was the other one they roped in? Maybe Aquaman 2? But I was like, he didn't do those movies. He only got hired in 2022. Some of these movies were in production way before. So he does not take responsibility for those. We do not put that on him. Don't put that on him, Ricky Bobby. But I feel like the Suicide Squad, although it did not perform well, I really find it hard to find people that saw the movie and did not like it. Did not like it. The movie was great. Especially considering it coming off the first movie. I don't blame people for not seeing the Suicide Squad. But if you did see the Suicide Squad, I'm pretty sure you liked it. So that's 1. Peacemaker, the show is amazing. Can't find anybody who hates that show. That's 2. If we give him Blue Beetle, which he really didn't do, but if we give him that, even that one was not a bad movie. The beginning's a bit cliched, and then it kind of like starts to move. So I don't know why people are saying James Gunn is not being successful right now. And just to quickly go to the numbers, right now Superman is at 510 million. I know Fantastic Four just came out. That's at 241. Superman might hold on to that. There's a chance it holds on to that. So there's that. But Superman, to me, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The description of, this won't be spoilers, by the way. The description of the movie being like cookie cutter out of like an episode of the cartoon, pretty accurate. A lot of cool, he put in a lot of cool shots that like you'd want to like make your wallpaper, like do a 4K wallpaper. So that I was like, all right, yeah, I see you. That's pretty awesome. Oh, that's pretty cool, And the movie happens. Luther, amazing. Luther was absolutely amazing. I'm going to say my favorite Luther so far. I don't count Justice League because the cartoon, because that's goated. Definitely my favorite Luther live action. Lois Lane, my man went on a search to find who can reenact OG Lois Lane. Mannerisms, the attitude, the look, modern day version, loved it. And I thought Superman was great. I thought the dude was great. So anybody who's skipping this movie because it's woke and all the stuff that like Fox said, you're cheating yourself. You're absolutely cheating yourself. And I don't know how you can say that this movie is woke and trying to send a message and not look at the rest of the list and say that applies to all of these. So there's that. I got it at my top 5 right now. If we're doing all DC live action, you know, I need to rework a lot of the rest of the list as far as what will go where. But I guarantee you it's in my top 5. It bumps Wonder Woman out the top 5 for sure. Easily. For some people, it does not bump Man of Steel out of the top 10. But I'm curious to see how many people think Man of Steel is a better movie than Superman. I'm going to say 25. Superman 25. Generation X-Wing enjoyed Blue Beetle. T3 said Fantastic Four was a better movie. Legacy of Nerd said he loved Superman. He only liked Fantastic Four. Rachel Brosnahan, is that how you say your name? Brosnahan is the best live action Lois Lane there has ever been. Lois did feel like the animated Superman. You know, even I said she was the best one, and I'm really thinking about it, and I'm trying to think about Superman and Lois, the most recent show. She's pretty good too. So I don't know if she beats that. I gotta think about it some more. But you know, as far as all the movies go, 89 is still my favorite DC movie. I do put Returns over the OG Superman movie. I think Superman Returns. I think Batman Returns just does not get talked about enough. It is amazing. And once again, the villains make the movie. So I have that number 2. Then I got the motion picture or the movie number 3, Dark Knight, and then Superman. Dave's Dimension in the house. Good to see you. Keep throwing me off with the new logo. Love it. That's a hot take for Lois Lane. I like Lois for Lois and Superman. She's really good. The one in you're talking about Terry Hatchett. I agree, it's a hot take. No, I thought she was really good. And they didn't make her do too much. You know, like she did fly it's not a spoiler. She flies the T plane, jet, whatever, at one point. I got her over Margaret Kidder. But like at the same time, can you, if you're basing it that she's like another version of that, you know? Tough question. I don't know. But I got to see Fantastic Four. I need to see Thunderbolts. I really need to see Thunderbolts. But I was really surprised. Really surprised. And I'll talk about this, actually. And then I'll go to the comments. You know, the post that's getting a lot of traction for me on Threads right now is me saying, you know, a movie studio saying exclusively in theaters or only in theaters in 2025 is not a flex. Is not a flex. It isn't. The theater industry as it exists right now is just not in a good place. I've continued to say that theaters are dying. You know, we can debate whether that's true or not. ChatGPT actually disagrees with me. But if your numbers go down year over year, year after year, I don't know what else that means. Now, theaters, to me, will exist and continue to exist in some capacity. But they are going to have to change. They are going to have to change. Mom and pop theaters are probably going to go away unless somebody can find, you know, a gimmick to keep them valid, keeps them going. Like, you know, drive-ins are coming back right now. But even those things are not open all week, all year. I love a good IMAX movie. Seeing Sinners in IMAX was amazing. Seeing Dragon Ball Z in IMAX was amazing. But there are certain movies that, like, it's just not happening. It's not happening. And I use the example of Together coming out this weekend. There's no shot I see that movie in theaters. I'd watch it at home if it got good reviews. But unless it's a big franchise movie currently, most people aren't going like that. They're just not doing it. They're just not doing it. And what people have a hard time doing is separating reality from their feelings. I've actually talked to people who work in theaters, who have worked in theaters, and they'll tell you for the last decade, even COVID aside, you know, the amount of times that they'll have viewings that they just have to cancel it because nobody shows up, where they're like, there's no point even opening at 10 a.m. anymore, and they open up later now than they used to. People just don't go like that. Of course, you're going to have your Friday nights. You're going to have your summers when parents are trying to get their kids out of the house, get them out of the heat, something to do. Yeah, that's going to continue to be a thing. But your business model is going to exist on 4 months in the year, and even then you're not getting them every month unless the studios help you out with some content. So simultaneous releases need to happen. They've done it already on some movies, but unless it happens with the big movies, it's not going to do a dent. Ain't going to happen. There's been a couple, I wish I could remember which ones, but I remember there's been a couple where I'm like, oh, actually, I might watch that at home and pay for it. But it wasn't big enough to get me to actually follow through on it. So we need big movies to do simultaneous. Figure it out. And maybe you can use that money to supplement the theaters in some way. But that's my thought. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and opinions will always vary. As someone who worked in a couple of movie theaters, I gotta agree, they're only dying. Only the experience matters. Because think about it, like, I'm inclined to see movies because this channel. I want to kind of like be able to talk about something that's relevant, so that'll get me to go. But otherwise, like, most of the time, I'm like, I'm at the point where I don't even care about spoilers anymore. You know, like Avengers Doomsday is going to be the exception. You know, Ghostbusters, it was part of a whole movement of trying to get people to go see Ghostbusters, so I went. But unless it's something that's like cultural, like Sinners or a big franchise, you know, like if I don't see Fantastic Four in theaters, I'm not going to lose any sleep on it. I want to see it because of the channel, but that's about it. And I hear it's good. So if anything, I'm more inclined to see it because I'm like, oh, I want to finally see a good Fantastic Four movie. Not because I actually like want to see that movie specifically. It's just like, oh, you guys actually succeeded. It took 4 attempts. So we'll see. Let me get to these comments before we wrap. T3 said, so do one day, he's speaking of Boston Comic Con. He said, so day 1, do one thing, then day 2, do cosplay, day 3, the only thing you didn't do. I don't know if I'm going to do all 3 days. I might do 2. Now that I know. We'll see. Press Pass doesn't allow you any extra access, just covering the con, no access to celebrities. I figured. What I did at SDCC is talk to the reps and make decisions to send stuff for reviews. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Boston Comic Con, it's not the biggest convention. Like the biggest ones up here are like Rhode Island and New York. So, there's never any like big reveals at Boston. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll try to get the 2 days in on that one, and I'll try to mix up the kind of content I take. We'll see. Patrick says, I'm also an audiophile and enjoy a good seat rattle. Yeah. But I just feel like technology's so good now. There's nothing wrong with my speakers at home. I can get the house rattle if I need to. We'll see. Let's go to Box Office Mojo real quick, just to make sure there's nothing that I'm missing coming out this week. I know Together was this weekend. Yeah. Nothing else on the list that I'm like, oh man, I gotta see it. Naked Gun, I can wait. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Yeah, I got nothing. But like what are some of these movies like hoping to make? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? What are they possibly going to make that they're like, oh, if we had 500,000, golden. I don't know. I thought Turtles was the 16th. Oh, it's the 17th. 17th is Sunday? Well, maybe I do get a chance to see it. Toxic Avenger is the end of August. All right. Again, I could wait. I could wait. Caught Stealing looked interesting. That trailer looked interesting. Cool. All right. Well, can't believe we're already in August. That's wild. So yeah, we're returning to Comic-Con. First Comic-Con of the year is next week. Shout out to Fan Expo. Thank you for that. And we'll see if we get to any other cons before we end up doing New York City Comic-Con. I still need to record a couple Ghostbuster videos for you guys. Got to get back on track with Daily Planet, of course. And yeah, that's all I got. Of course, make sure you hit up toolsandtalentprops.com. Use code HeyArcher at checkout. And nerdaffiliated.com for some sweet merch. I hit the wrong button. Didn't mean to do that. Oh man, HeyArcher Live don't go. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15 p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Usually in the morning we have Daily Planet. It'll come out when it comes out. My butt's tired from sitting down all day and then sitting down for this show. But yeah, excited for Comic-Con. Let me know if you're going to Boston Comic-Con. Let us know, of course, if you're going to New York City Comic-Con. And let us know what conventions you're going to, what you're excited for. Anthony has an amazing video dropping tomorrow, an amazing reveal. And I'm super excited for it. You guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be awesome. I won't give you any hints. It's good though. As per usual, be kind to one another. Enjoy the ride, as some of you say. And as Dave says, keep on busting. Like, comment, subscribe, talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'm out of here.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.